Hi, and welcome to BG24 Public Affairs. I'm Gary Malveaux, and this is Isabella Maney and Jasmine Burnett.
On tonight's show, we will be joined by cast and crew members from the BGSU-produced show, The Vagina Monologues. They'll be here to show us a sneak peek of the show and talk about the production.
Then later on, two representatives from the Bowling Green Council for Teachers of Mathematics will be here. They will talk to me about the organizations and the upcoming events they will be having.
Afterwards, we will be joined by representatives from BG Alternative Breaks. They will be here to tell us about the alternative break options they have to offer students for this upcoming spring break.
Then we will be sitting down and chatting live about all things happening in the world of pop culture.
Stay tuned because it all happens here after the break.
Welcome back to BG24 Public Affairs. With Valentine's Day weekend approaching, many may be looking for some entertainment for the evening. BGSU is putting on the show The Vagina Monologues on February 14th and 15th. We are joined by a few of the cast and production members to talk about the show. But first, here is Zainab Saab, a cast member performing an excerpt from the show called My Revolution Begins in the Body.
My revolution is on its knees. On my knees, to every holy thing, and to those who carry empire-made burdens in and on their heads and backs and hearts. My revolution demands abandon, expects the original, relies on troublemakers, anarchists, poets, shamans, seers, sexual explorers, tricksters, mystic travelers, tightrope walkers, and those who go too far and feel too much. My revolution happens unexpectedly. Is not naive, but believes in miracles. Cannot be categorized, targeted, branded, or even located. Offers prophecy, not prescription. Is determined by mystery and ecstatic joy. It happens in stages and all at once. It happens where you live and everywhere. It understands that divisions are diversions. It requires you sitting still and staring deep into my eyes. Go ahead. Love.
What a great excerpt of the show. I'm here with Ariel Patty, Katie O'Leary, and here comes Lana Adams, other members of the cast and production crew. Great to be here with you all.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Thank you. So you interpret that. So do you do that for all the monologues or just that one?
I'll be doing it for most of the monologues, and then there's another girl who will help me interpret, and we have some other girls on the cast that are in some like small intros.
Are you teaching them?
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing sign language for?
It's actually my first language.
Oh, really?
Because my parents are deaf, and so I'm a quota.
Wow, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about the show?
Yeah,
It's a lot. I mean,
it's a lot to say about the show. We've been involved, all of us have been involved with it for multiple years now, and it impacts so many people in the community. We just feel so lucky to be involved in it and get to be leaders in such a cool opportunity that empowers women, but also raises money for a really important cause, the Cocoon Shelter.
Can you tell me about the Cocoon Shelter and what it does?
Yeah, I'm actually an advocate at the Cocoon Shelter this year, so I directed, you guys had me on 2 years ago, and thanks for keeping us on every year, but it even means more to me now to be able to be involved and to see the direct impact the money makes on the residents that we're able to house at shelter and all of the women that we can help in the county who've experienced any kind of domestic violence. It's really cool to watch this community of women come together and put on an awesome show that raises money that then empowers more women in the community.
Yeah, that's really an amazing cause. Do you think the show is controversial at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And in my eyes, I hope it's one of those shows that in 20 years, people will look back and be like, why was that controversial? Like we do with shows 20 years ago. So while it is technically considered controversial, I think one day that it won't be, and that's when it will be really exciting.
Hopefully that'll happen. So what monologues, how many monologues are there in the show?
Gosh.
This year?
Counted,
It's
actually.
it's got to be at least like 15 to 20.
The show runs a little bit around an hour and 45 minutes,
Okay.
and it ranges from comedic pieces to very heartwarming pieces to I'm not sure if I should clap because that was such a sober
Heartbreaking
moment kind of pieces. So there's just a wide range. It's kind of a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, but it's definitely well worth the hour and 45 minutes.
I'm going to ask you each of you what your favorite monologue is and like a reason why.
Oh gosh.
If that's all right.
Okay,
I'll give you like a second to think. So I'm going to start with you.
Okay. I think my favorite monologue is probably The Flood.
That's what I was going to say.
Stick around,
That's
sir.
the monologue I performed last year with Katie I guess it just like it. Some of the stuff in the monologue resonated with me and personally, and I just like that it shows the audience a perspective from like older women as well.
All right, yeah,
A lot of younger women performing, so.
that makes sense. How about you?
Okay, I finally got one. Mine is There in the Room, and it's actually told from Eve Ensler's point of view, and she's the woman who compiled all of the monologues. And so the rest of the monologues are all based on interviews that she did with all of these hundreds of women all over the world. But this one in particular is her story, and it's about when she was there in the room for the birth of her grandchild. And it's so beautiful. I mean, I've been involved in the show now for 5 years, and every time I see it, it brings tears to my eyes. It's so beautiful.
That sounds really beautiful. And then
Mine
yours?
would definitely have to be My Angry Vagina. I just think it resonates. All of the pieces of it just really resonate with, I think, the age that we're growing up in our generation of women. And it just has, it's fun. It's told from a fun point of view, but it's definitely resonates with me. And I think a lot of people who will come to see this show will be like, I've definitely thought that more than once. Like, just the problems that, you know, society presents to us and how we're supposed to act. So.
All right, well, awesome. That's all the time we have for now. Be sure to get your tickets and see the show and help support a great cause. When we come back, Isabella will be sitting down with representatives from BG Alternative Breaks. Stay tuned.
With spring break only a few weeks away, many BGSU students may be scrambling to put together plans for the break. Although many have their sights set on sunshine and beaches, a BGSU organization has alternative break options to offer students that are filled with reward. I'm here with Maddie Georgioff and Emily Hillier from BG Alternative Breaks. Great to have you all here.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so let's get right into it. What are your titles for this organization?
Sure, so I'm the president. I was part of the founding team that started the Alternative Break program. So I'm also a civic action leader within the Office of Service Learning, so that's sort of a dual role for me, but right now I'm serving as president.
Awesome, and how about you?
I'm vice president of site leader coordination, so it's my job to basically like organize the sites and organize the site leaders and teach them like the rules and the tricks.
Oh, cool. Okay. So, what exactly is BG Alternative Breaks for someone who has absolutely no idea?
Sure. So BG Alternative Breaks is a service trip program. We are issue focused, so we go on service trips during fall and spring break that focus on a variety of different social issues. So whether that be affordable housing and homelessness, or poverty, environmental issues, different things like that. We go there and we, instead of helping, we work with the community and make sure that we're trying to understand those social issues from their perspective through service, and then to come back to the community and spread advocacy about those social issues.
Wow, that's a great organization. So, how many years have you been doing these breaks?
So this is actually our second year as a program. We piloted the program with our first break last fall, so it started in 2013, so we're a baby program for right now, but we've really grown a lot within the past couple of years.
So you're young and up and coming?
Yes.
So what have been, even though you are only 2 years old, what have been so far some of the most memorable breaks you've had, or something that really resonated for a lot of students, like really hit home because it is such a inspirational type of thing?
Sure.
So we've gone to Detroit twice, and we've worked with the same community partners. And the first time we went, we had the opportunity to knock down an abandoned house where they were going to eventually put a garden. And the second time we returned, the garden was actually there. So we got to see that transformation, and it was awesome to see our work and what it had led to.
Okay. And is that probably yours as well?
I would say that's probably my same one. Another really cool thing is that when we come back and, you know, some people are talking poorly about Detroit or saying that there's no hope there, hearing the participants standing up for Detroit and saying, actually, it's a really great place. There's some wonderful people there who are working hard to revitalize the city. That's really what's inspirational, to be able to see the on-trip transformation, you know, from being just a member of a community to an active citizen. It's a really great opportunity for them to understand a social issue, but then to come back and advocate for them.
That's really great, because I think in the Midwest, like Detroit, everyone is really hard on it, but to see an organization doing work with it and giving it hope, I think that's really important. So what are the alternative breaks coming up for this coming spring break, which is just only a few weeks away?
Exactly, yeah. So we have 4 alternative breaks. One of them is intersectionality in Detroit. So we're working with a few organizations that are working with LGBTQ plus folks, a couple different things, understanding how a lot of different social issues intersect with each other. And then we're also working with one in Goshen, Indiana. It's called La Casa, and it's affordable housing and community development. And then we have two others.
Then we have two more. One is an environmental issues trip, and that's in North Carolina. And then another one is like prison systems and empowering young women trip, and that's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow. So how can a student get involved or get on these trips? What is the process? Are there any requirements for it? Things like that.
Yeah, so actually our application date has already passed. So we've been forming the teams for a couple weeks now, but we've had a few people who have had to have their plans change. So we have a few openings on our trips now, and usually it's an application process, but if anyone who's interested out there would like to participate, if you email bgab@bgsu.edu, we can see if it works out with the openings that we have on our trips.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it says here on your website, I did a little research, it says your mission statement is through direct service, education, and reflection, BG Alternative Breaks strives to address community identified needs while empowering students to become active global citizens. And then it says your vision envisions a world without injustice. How do you believe your organization achieves this mission and this vision?
Sure. So three of the main components. We have three main components to all of our alternative break trips, and those are education, direct service, and reflection. So those are in our mission statement, and we believe that those three things are crucial for a high-quality experience that's really going to change the lives of the people on the trip and the people experiencing these changes in these communities. We've tackled with we've gone through different vision statements because it's something that we really envision for the world, but being able to work towards a world without injustice is something that's just really inspiring, and that active citizenship that comes with it, that every day that community is part of our priorities and life choices. It's something that really drives us, I would say.
That's awesome. So you guys are a very young organization, but I mean, do you have any future goals, like maybe to go abroad and do, service work or things like that? Is that a goal for you guys?
That's possible. I mean, I think anything's possible for BGAB right now.
Yeah, I'm graduating in May, so I don't have as many answers, but hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of growth for sure. I think that's the thing, is that we have so many inspirational leaders right now, including Emma. Things are going to happen for BGAB. It's something to really keep your eye on if you're a BGSU student, because this is up and coming, and there's a national movement too. We're just joining this national movement. Some schools have 70 alternative break options per spring break. We're starting with 4 for right now, but there's some big things happening in the future, I can see.
It sounds like a great organization.
Yeah.
Thank you all again for being here.
Thank you.
Remember, if you are interested in going on a BG Alternative Break, be sure to contact them via email or by giving them a call. Stay tuned, because when we come back, Jasmine will be sitting down with 2 representatives from the Bowling Green Council for Teachers of Mathematics.
BGSU is well known for its education program. With such a successful program, we wonder what other programs we offer for teachers in the making. I'm here with Davis Gerber and Alyssa Lustgarten from the Bowling Green Council for Teacher of Mathematics, better known as BGCTM. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
I almost slaughtered your name. I'm so
That's
sorry
okay.
about that. Okay, so what is the Bowling Green? Sorry, so long. I'm going to shorten it. So I'm going to say, what does the Bowling Green Council do?
Essentially, we just try to bring in pre-service teachers and just basically show them that mathematics isn't scary. And I know, it's shocking, right? Math isn't that scary, and we're trying to show people that there's alternative ways to teach it, and we're also trying to just make a good name throughout the community that Bowling Green is a wonderful college for education, but it's also a great place to learn about mathematics education.
All right, and so what is your role with the BG Council?
I am actually the Public Relations Chair, so I essentially try to get the word out there any way that I can. So I send the emails for our meetings, I hang up posters, I text people, I also try to get other people to join as much as I can, and that's essentially all I got to do.
All right, and what is your role?
I'm the membership chair, and so with the BGCTM membership, they also get an OCTM membership, which is the Ohio Council of Teachers of Mathematics, and then also the NCTM, which is our national affiliate. And so I work with that, and I also make sure that I send them the information just so they get their cards and their notifications in the mail.
All right, and how did you all get involved with, Bowling Green Council? So I'm going to start with you since you answered the last question.
I'm in the Action program, which is a science and math research-based education program. And when we were here for a summer bridge experience, they told us about it, and the previous president came and spoke with us and got us involved.
Okay, and what about you?
My story actually isn't that much different than hers. I'm also in the Action program on campus here. And Alyssa was in the program before I was, or at least Bowling Green Council for Teachers of Mathematics before I was, and she was always telling me, Davis, you need to join, you need to join. It looks great on a resume. And finally she broke me down and I said yes, so I decided to join and got some initial support from some other people to try to take a leadership position.
Okay, so one thing that you mentioned earlier, you said that math is not scary.
Exactly.
And I have to disagree because math is pretty creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do you all offer for education majors here? Like, what type of programs do you all have?
Essentially, we just had our welcome back meeting, which essentially was welcome back to this new spring semester. Math still isn't scary since you've left. We had a mathematics textbook giveaway, which I know you might sound like, wow, that's really a snorer of a meeting. But we actually gave away a lot of books for these pre-service teachers to not only reference, but maybe use in their future classrooms. We also had a reverse roundtable, essentially, where we had them tell us what they wanted to do for these future meetings. And we also had somebody come in from the Technology Resource Center and the Curriculum Resource Center in the library, and she showed us a bunch of manipulatives, which are things that we can use to help demonstrate mathematics in the classroom. And in the future, we are going to try to do more things like that. I know that we were talking about maybe possibly learning about lasers and possibly going laser tagging. And we're also doing other things like prepping people for these licensure tests and also letting people know what kind of licensure do we need if we want to teach in another state.
And you all mentioned about your first welcome back meeting. So could you describe the atmosphere that, that was for you all?
Sure. Well, because it's spring semester and a lot of people are student teaching, we had a lot of seniors come out, which is pretty rare for our first meeting because everything's so busy. And so that was really nice because they could use all the resources. So it was just, everyone was very enthusiastic and it was nice to all be together again.
All right. What is one thing that you all love about math? Because I'm assuming that you are education majors and you want to be math education majors. So what is one thing that you like about math?
Wow.
You didn't.
I know, you did stump me. It's not necessarily the math that I love, it's more making the connections with the students and the possibility of changing lives of our future youth. And I know I definitely want to make more of a difference, not only in one school system, but possibly throughout Ohio and throughout the United States. So it's not necessarily just math for me, although I do think it's a great way to learn how to problem solve. It's also a great thing to do in general.
What about you?
I work as a supplemental instructor on campus for business calculus, and through that position that I have, I learned that I really like teaching the little tricks and tips that maybe they don't get from their teachers in the classroom, but then I have time to help explain to them. And so I just like seeing the aha moments of the students, and they just really understand it then.
All right. Well, thank you for both being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned because when we come back, we'll be talking all things popular culture. Welcome back to BG24 Public Affairs, and it is the time that we all long for. Discussion time. Yeah. So we have gotten some sad news in today's pop culture. Bobby Christina, who is Whitney Houston's daughter, she is in the hospital with health concerns.
And they haven't said what she's in there for. Yeah, she just was hospitalized, and I heard that she's on life support. So
yeah, I guess she remains in a Georgia hospital, and it was just pretty traumatic, I guess, from how they're describing it, that just a cable guy found her, and they're not releasing why she was in the hospital or anything like that, but you really just hope in this situation, especially after everything that family has been through with Whitney, like that it's not anything as serious as it is right now.
It's really sad because, she was found face down in the tub, and although her mother wasn't found face down in the tub, but her mother was in the tub, underwater, and it was sad. So she went to the hospital for the same exact thing as her mom did, and just think, Grammys are coming up. This happened 3 years ago, so this is like the anniversary death of Whitney Houston, compared to it. And then Bobby Brown just had his 46th birthday, so now he has to go through all of that with his ex-wife, and now he has to try to be strong for his well, not his only daughter, but he has to be strong for, you know, his youngest daughter. And so it's like taking a toll on their family.
And I heard that both sides of the family went to the hospital and they're like supporting her, so that's good to hear at least.
You hope for the best in a situation like that. It's so tough. That family has been through a lot within the just 3 years, so.
Well, it's sad. Look, it's teary-eyed.
Speaking of scandals, the Scandal star was recently in a scandal. So Kerry Washington was posing for InStyle magazine for the March issue, and they lightened her on the cover.
Well,
so what do you think about this?
All of her fans are just like going crazy.
They're going crazy, yeah, for Gladiators.
She posted a picture of Instagram saying, I'm so happy that I was on InStyle for the March issue, and I've always wanted to do this. And you know, how just expressing how happy she was. And if you just scroll to the comments, everyone is just like, they lightened your skin. How could you how could you let them do that? And it's just out of hand.
Yeah.
It's really out of hand. So did you see like the picture?
Yeah, I saw it. I just think, you know, it's just so problematic when Photoshop takes it to that level, because it's, you know, she's a beautiful woman. Like, she is gorgeous. There's
so pretty.
no reason to wash her out like that or make her lighter because that's what might be appealing, like, in society. But it's just, that's absolutely not true, because she's absolutely glowing without it. I just don't understand why they would have to do it, but I mean, it's causing a big stir, so hopefully it'll start something. Yeah, well, she tweeted, thank you for opening this conversation. It's important. It's an important one that needs to be had. So, I mean, she's right that this.
Very important. And InStyle, they also issued a statement. They said, we did not digitally lighten Kerry's skin tone. Our cover lightening was likely contributed to their overhead lights of the show.
Which is true. Like, that could be a possibility, because for like photo shoots and stuff like that, you have to have a lot of light on the person. So, I don't know. It might have washed her out.
That was, yeah. So that's all that we have time for. Stay tuned.
Well, that's our show for tonight, guys.
Thank you for joining us.
Have a good night, everyone.